Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Alexis Sides about Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies on Paramount+. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Peter. I'm so excited to be here.
The T-Birds are in the house, right? Let's be honest.
Exactly. Well, one of them. One of them.
I'm an honorary T-Bird, okay? I just did that right now.
Well, you're the honorary one, so we got two T-Birds in the house now.
Let me tell you something, man. In terms of set design and aesthetic and color palette, there's not much competition, man. This show just is like one of the most insane, unbelievable, eye-candy things I've ever seen. Like, I can't even imagine seeing everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was crazy. I definitely, like, when we saw the costume designs and everything and the whole set design and everything was just insane. Like, I couldn't believe we were part of this. Like, everything was just, like, I actually felt like we were in 1954, you know what I mean? So it was just amazing, for sure.
What can you tell me about the audition process? Because I've talked to a lot of your other cast members too, and that's like the Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies audition stories are the greatest stories because they seem like such big auditions. You know what I mean?
They were, and you know what? Funny. The funny thing is that they were all through Zoom. Like, that's crazy. That's pretty. You know, COVID time hits, and well, you got to do everything through Zoom. So my first audition, I got it in October. It was a long process for sure. It was like a 4-month process. In October, I got my first audition. Funny enough, I got it as Richie, the leader of the T-Birds. Okay. And I had to sing, and I sang all these things that I've done by the Killers. And I didn't get a callback to it wasn't exactly a callback, kind of like a callback because they asked me to audition again, but for another character. Potato this time. and that's when I did my audition. They liked it, and sure enough, the third audition came. Funny enough, actually on my birthday, December 2nd, it's when I did my network audition with executive producers, showrunner Annabelle Oakes, and director and another executive director Alethea Jones, and all these people, and it was nerve-wracking. Like, I think it wasn't really nerve-wracking to have being in front of them. It was more nerve-wracking the fact that I was, one step inside of the door, and this could be like a life-changing opportunity for me, and I just wanted to really nail the audition, and I think I was more nervous about me not messing up the audition, right? And yeah, like a month later, January 7th came. I got my agent call, my famous agent call. She told me that I booked it.
You were gonna be Potato, basically.
Yeah, the only vegetable in the show, I think.
You're biased if you say that, so I'll say I agree. I find it interesting because I feel like it's official. You're cast, right? You're going to Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies. And I feel like when you get there, from an acting, storytelling perspective, Alexis, there's going to be there's unfamiliar territory and familiar territory at the same time. We know Grease because it's one of the greatest musicals of all time, but this is going back in time. This is a prequel and everything, new characters and everything. So you know what's going on, but at the same time, you don't know what's going on. Do you think about that at all?
Yeah, definitely, because it's like, do you mean that we don't know what's going on in terms of the Grease movie that's coming up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was just stepping back to, you had to learn a lot of things and learn a lot of things that are like common in the 50s,
Yeah.
And many of those things were not easy. Like, I always say that for example, there's a lot of lines that Potato, well, not a lot, but there's a few lines that Potato has that I was kind of comfortable, saying it, because it's they kind of give a misogynistic vibe to the line, and I wasn't really comfortable saying those lines, but hey, you gotta realize that you're in the 50s, right? You're trying to portray an era that was, well, an era in which misogyny was at its peak, right?
No, totally. So, I was also alluding to the fact too that we know Grease and we know the whole story with like the T-Bird, the Danny Zuko and everything, but we don't know Potato. You know what I mean? So it's like, some of it, but some of it you don't know. So it's like, I always find anytime someone books something that's like a spin-off or a prequel or anything, it's cool because you know the world, but you don't know the world at the same time.
Yeah, it's good because you have to create a character, right?
Yeah.
And that's that's an actor's job, creating a character and its backstory and everything, and for it to kind of lead up to what it's coming, which is Dan Izuko and Duty and all these guys, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting job. I mean, I was pretty fortunate enough to have a character that is Mexican, right, as me, and having all these immigration issues that Potato is going through. That, I mean, I can identify a little bit now in 2023, but I can imagine back in 1954 how it was to be a Mexican in U.S. or another race that is not white. You know what I mean?
100%. No, that's very, very true. That's so well said. It's also great to see that, like, the diversity is one of the best things about this show. Like, and I'm sure you talked about this before with the cast and everything. That's one of the best things about Grease Riders Pink Ladies.
Yeah, that's one thing that pulled me in for sure. When I read the breakdown, the character breakdown, I mean, from Richie, since I saw that the leader of the T-Birds was going to be Puerto Rican, I was like, wait, what? What is this real? Like, because we also have to remember that Greasers were not only Italian, right? They were also like Latinos and Mexicans over there. And I mean, it's so nice to be able to represent that culture that has been strong back in the day.
Potato was around, but Potato has a really cool little kind of storyline in regards, like, that have to do with, like, love notes and everything, and, like, there's some cool stuff with Tricia and everything. What was it like kind of seeing a lot of the cool things that Potato was involved with, like, from New Cool to, like, that little storyline? Like, it's cool you get the scripts and be like, I'm around, but I really get to be I get to dive into a lot of these cool storylines too, right?
I was just really happy. Like, I was... really excited because it's my first project, right? It's my first professional gig that I book. Like I come from Cabo San Lucas, which is this small town, and I mean, I'm not underestimating the place, but I mean, it's not like comparing to Vancouver and all the projects that are here. It's just astounding, right? And for me, being the first professional project that I book, I was so hungry of being able to show my skills in front of the camera and I was, every time that I opened a new episode and I saw how involved Potato was in the script and how involved he kept getting in the script throughout the episodes, that was just really special for me, and I was just excited to do it and to work with all these talented directors and the cast and the choreographers and having the songs written by Justin Trant. Like, it was just, what can I say? I'm very lucky.
Take me through New Cool in regards to, like, hearing it for the first time, seeing everything, finding out about the sequences. Like, take me through that, because that's a huge number for the show. That's a huge number for the T-Birds. That kind of, I think, is one of the first big numbers early on and one of the first kind of episodes that really kind of, like, as an audience member, Alexis, you're like, okay, it's on. You know what I mean? Like, this is cinematic. You know what I mean? It's on. You know what I mean? Take me through that. What can you tell me about New Cool specifically?
Well, it was a really fun experience because, first of all, when we heard the song, we were like, Grease Lightning. This is a total tribute to Grease Lightning. Yeah. I was just really, because that's one of my favorite songs from the original movie, Grease Lightning, right? From Travolta's voice to the whole beats and everything. It's great. And I was happy to be part of it. And one of the things that I really liked is we're in the song, right? We were in the studio singing the lyrics and recording our voices and doing all these things. And it was just really fun to be part of. And once we saw the set and how everything was going to be arranged and choreographed, and I was just really happy to be part of it. Like, yeah, the whole place, like the whole auto shop and everything, the fantasy scene with everyone with their jackets on. It was hot, I'm not gonna lie, but man, I was so much fun and so many good experiences that I spent on set.
Can you tell it's cinematic, like when you just get on set, or is it when you're kind of looking at the playbacks on Video Village, or is it one of those like, oh, like you get there and it's like, this is gonna be cinematic?
once you see the whole equipment they had,
Yeah.
all the cranes, the lights, Andy with the camera operator, which was insane. I knew that, like, once I started talking to him and he started like spilling out his knowledge and everything, I was like, yo, this man is gonna he's gonna kill his shoes. Like, that's gonna be so good, right? And yeah, I mean, from the first number, from Greece is the Word, you can see how amazing it is, how cool it is for them to combine these theatrical elements with cinematical elements, right? Like, you
Totally.
get these elements moving as you would see in theater, but then you also have all these shots that make it so cool. So I don't know, I was just really proud to be part of it.
I still love that you sang a killer song for your audition. Can I just go back to that? That's like the best thing ever. I love that because I'm a big rock fan and everything, and that's a great tune. I love that song.
Yeah, but since I'm a rock fan. My dad used to have like a program on a radio station in Michoacán and back in Mexico about rock, rock in general, Mexican, like Latin American rock, US rock and everything. And thanks to him, I know a lot of, I'm very deep into the jock.
Who's your favorite band? Do you have a favorite band of all time, or like one or two? I have a lot too.
I have a lot, but one of my main ones is Foo Fighters. Like,
that's one of my favorite bands of all time too.
Man. Like, Wasting Lights, I can sing the whole entire Wasting Lights album. I was actually listening to it yesterday.
Wasting Lights, probably one of the greatest albums of all time. They went back and they did that on analog, and it was so good. That's on analog, man. That's why, you know, when you listen to that record and people are like, there's something about that record. They recorded it on analog, man.
It's amazing. I love it. I love it.
Like for me, it's like a lot of like punk rock too, right? Like Green Day, Blink-182, Sum 41, like that's all the stuff. Like the Rise Against, all that. That's like, I always like that. But I'm all over the map. Like, it's funny because I was excited to find out that like Grease is the Word. You guys were gonna do a version of it for Rise of the Pink Ladies, but like the Grease by Frankie Valli, like, it's one of my favorite songs of all time. Like, I love that song. Oh yeah, that song, dude. I love that song, man. Dude, the Grease soundtrack is so good.
It's so good. It's so catchy, man, for sure.
No, it's amazing. What is your favorite thing about playing Potato, and what is your favorite thing about being on Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies? I feel like there's two different answers there.
Yeah, being Potato is really fun because I really get to. Wow, I really get to be me in how do you say it? Like in a higher potency, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, totally.
Like, it's me, but more, you know? And I really got to really, really be myself and let myself go and trust in my instincts and be fun and quirky and improvise, you know, all these things that you have to do as Potato and because he's like kind of like all of the T-Birds, but Potato is also like the comedy relief. So so you got to be really on your feet all the time with all these comedy beats and that was really interesting about being Potato and being and also the range. There's a lot of scenes where we show a lot of emotion from Potato and that really gave me a lot of range just to being quirky but at the same time being emotional and sentimental, right? So I was really lucky to be Potato and I couldn't have it another way. And being part of Grease, I mean, I told you already, with all the cast and all the dancers and everything, it's just the energy and the family that we created within the cast and crew. Because it was not only the cast, it was people behind the cameras where we would spend time with, you know, like everybody was in the family, like assistant directors, everyone was like in the family. So it was just really fun to be part of Grease Rise. I'm really lucky.
It's amazing. And episodes are rolling out on Paramount Plus. That's Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies. Alexis, so great chatting with you. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I hope to be here soon again.
Yeah, absolutely. And if people want to keep up to date, you have an Instagram account, right, where they could follow? Yeah,
it's Alexis Sides. So it's like sides, like both sides. we discussed this at the beginning.
You know what? It was, and it seemed like you read it and you're like, oh yeah, Alexis Sides, and then oh man, yeah. But It's
That's how
Sides.
because if I say Sides, then people write with SEEDIS and I'm like, no.
No,
So it's like, rather get it right.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Pop Turner, youtube.com/Pop Turner for previous episodes. You can catch Alexis Sides as Potato in Grease, Rise the Pink Lady, streaming on Paramount Plus. Until next time, it's Alexis and PD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.